and the ladies with the voices. In fact, the ladies with the brains are back here on your screens, and we're excited to be back. My name is Mimi K. This is Toast, and I'm here with my beautiful Toast ladies. Ladies, are you excited to be back?
Of course. It's always exciting to be back.
Okay, let's introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, so the name is Mami Inimwabe the first.
AKA Baby.
This name.
Yes. I'm Vanessa Danso.
AKA
Obroni.
I like that. Right, so today's conversation is definitely going to be exciting as always, very educative, and all sort of vibes are going to be coming up on this show. And so if you joined us, you made the right choice. We'd like to say a big thank you to Launcher Ghana for having us one more time. It's the best interior decoration company in Ghana and beyond. You can call them on 050-658-5101. Also, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram is at Launcher Ghana, Launcher GH. All right, ladies, today's conversation is one that has made a lot of families put families together, has also raised eyebrows on culture and tradition on how to give birth. Surrogacy, yay or nay, ladies? Today we're not going to only give you vibes on this particular conversation, we're going to give you the lighter version of it, our own opinions about surrogacy and more. So ladies, let's really just jump into it as it is. Surrogacy, yay or nay? Is this something that you love to do, something that you're considering just in case you have any situations that will require that you employ a surrogate? Is this something that you'd Vanessa, take us away.
I have to be honest about this one. This is not just like being opinionated. This is a real life situation. It's something I've actually considered doing.
Oh,
honestly.
Why?
Because I think that I'm too busy. I'm like too drowned in my career. I get worried sometimes if I might ever, want to take a pause and have a family. But of course, I love to have a child. So then I'm thinking, should I opt for a surrogate mother to carry my child for me? But then again, I'm thinking, okay, I'd like to carry my child, feel the baby in my womb, all of those feelings, like amazing experiences pregnant women go through. So it is something I have considered, but as to whether it is yay or nay,
we'll get into that.
I'm sure by the end of this conversation, I'd have made a decision.
You have made a decision. Mami Inimwabeko.
I think if you have the funds for it, or you have the capacity to do it, or it's something within your interest, nothing should stop you.
But is that
me personally, 100,000%. 1 billion trillion. I've thought about it. And anyone that knows me very well will tell you that I never have a conversation without mentioning the fact that it's something that I would do.
You would do.
I can do, because my mother's probably watching. It's something that I can do. Because think about it, it's like Vanessa rightfully mentioned, let's put career into consideration. Number two, if you're somebody that, or we can even look at it from the health perspective. With me per se, one person, I'm God forbid, I'm not going to say I'm a sickler, but there's always one issue or the other. You're still trying to put your body together. You're trying to.
You mean health-wise?
Health-wise, there are people out there that maybe they even have, in terms of their stomach and whatnot, they have so much to fix when it comes to their health, but they still want to have a child, and they're still, as women, we're working with a biological clock, and it's ticking. So if it's your health holding you back and you feel like I need a child, and you can make arrangements and you have the funds or the capacity to actually accommodate this, definitely I think it should go. But for me, my reason to opt for this option is solely for the fact, like Vanessa said, I'm thinking about my career and I'm looking at the time frame women usually take to heal. Number one, when people give birth, your body changes, in terms of even how you feel. And I don't want to end up being, I don't want to fall back, I don't want to fall back.
You think pregnancy pose women back?
I think pregnancy definitely, it puts a pause on you and everything else.
But biologically, as a woman, it's part of the cycles you have to go through in life if you want to follow the pattern that has been drawn biologically for us. At some point in a woman's life, you have to be pregnant, you have to give birth, you have to heal from the pregnancy, you have to breastfeed, you have all of that is biological.
Girl, I don't have the time.
Yeah,
like I'll just opt for
you
it.
just
Like,
skip it.
I'll
You skip the
for it.
process.
Yeah.
You skip the process. So let's come back to the tradition, the culture bit, where I mean, let me paint a
But you
very-
didn't tell us if you'd opt for surrogacy.
Oh, I'll get into that right
Okay.
now. So let me paint a very, very crazy picture for you guys to see. Let's see if you will still go for that. So for mothers or for some parents, it's like you are letting another woman who, by the way, we don't know, has her own genes and blood line issues to carry your child. It is your eggs and your husband's or your partner's eggs or whatever it is that they put together, but it is in another person's body.
Yeah.
And that person's blood flows through that child's vein. Remember that as well. This child is going to come into the world and carry all of what that person has, whether you know it or not. I know that research and all of that is done about the person before coming, but do you always have it's 100%?
This is what I've done a deep research when it comes to this.
Tell me.
For the whole surrogacy thing, it's not something that happens overnight.
Yeah.
There are tests.
A lot goes into it.
There's a lot of procedures. A lot, and they can even assess you as far back as your fifth generations, like your grandparents, your great. Like you actually get to pick the kind of family lineage as to where the person is coming from.
Right.
The blood type, the kind of illness they've had, medical history. Some even want to even see your criminal record. It's that deep.
Of course.
In the UK, it's if you're not careful, it could probably even take you close to like 6 months to get it done. Do you get it? So if I'm going to actually opt for this option, I'm taking my time, number one, to look at the mother, the hair of the mother, the hair of the surrogate's mother. Number one, I'm looking at medical history, very important. I'm looking at your criminal record. I'm having conversations.
But these
with
are
you.
standard
I'm
procedures
also,
anyway.
No,
Yeah.
I'm getting to know you.
Yeah.
Because you have to literally, it's like you have to form a relationship with the person.
person. Yes.
And even sometimes people even want the surrogate mother to stay with them.
Yes.
Because they want to monitor what they are eating, what they're drinking. You sign contracts. You get a lawyer to have a look at it. Like it's something that
So people should not be worried about these.
no, I think it's not as scary. Obviously, we're in the Western. Okay, we're in an African country.
Yeah.
Definitely will be frowned on, and I think surrogacy is something that
I think
definitely won't be okayed in this part of the
this
world
part
for a
of the
very
world.
long
It
time.
is not even in Africa. There are countries overseas that are planning to ban surrogacy. I think Italy is one of them. There's Georgia, a couple of other countries that just don't find surrogacy illegal enough to
Legal.
want exactly other people to go through it. So it's just a whole lot. But my concern, is with, I feel like when you have been pregnant before,
Yeah.
how was the experience? Did you feel like you bonded with your child when he
Let me
was
tell you
growing
the truth.
inside
I was
of you?
17, guys. I was not looking for the experience. I was
Is it?
enduring my entire pregnancy. I was
Okay.
enduring everything. But one thing about my pregnancy that my mom said that I think I can remember is that it was very smooth. I didn't throw up. I didn't have the very.
Oh, wow.
No. I was actually schooling. People barely even knew that I was pregnant.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Yes. I went to school to the 9th month.
You're kidding.
Senior high school.
Yes, senior high school.
Okay.
I went. People barely knew. So when it finally came out that I had given birth, everybody was like, "No, she didn't give birth. That's a lie." Because obviously, when I gave birth, I had to go home for like 2 months before coming back to school. Some people had their hints, but were like, "Where's the pregnancy?"
Yeah.
I discovered I was pregnant at 6 months.
You discovered you were pregnant
Yes,
at 6 months.
yes.
Wow.
Did
And
you,
then I went-
did you have your menstruation the entire
It
time?
came perfect.
Through the 6 months?
Throughout. Well, I missed a couple of months, but it
Okay.
wasn't crazy. Because my menstrual cycle wasn't even that stable at the time anyway.
Okay.
So it wasn't painful. The only time I threw up was the day my water broke.
Okay.
Yes. So that experience, again, if that's how all my pregnancies are going to be, I want to have that experience all over.
I'm actually asking because people feel that, But when you have the baby growing inside of you, you get to communicate with the baby. That bond
I didn't have time to communicate with that
But you
baby.
know
didn't
what?
feel that?
People dwell on the fact. People dwell on the fact.
Somebody has done that at 17, guys.
And no, but truth be told, a lot of people dwell on the fact that they say that when you're pregnant, you get to connect with the baby,
Yeah.
you get to bond with the baby. But do people also realize that there are a lot of mothers out there that carry their children or child for 9 months and don't even have any sort of bond with the child?
Let me tell you what, there's also, on that
interesting.
particular conversation, there's also the instances where you have a child and then the very day the baby lands, you have postpartum depression.
Yeah,
That
you don't want to
depression
see
can
the baby.
not want to have anything to do with
That
the
is
child
true.
for months. Depending on how long yours lasts. So for 6 months, some babies don't have relationship with theirs. So that's not even a conversation to start with. Please
I'm
go
here.
ahead. You're here.
Yeah,
Wait.
I think I went through that.
You went through that.
And my money wasn't just ready for me.
For you.
So she just dumped me on my grandparents.
So your mom could have gone through postpartum
Yes,
depression
yes,
and she
yes.
didn't even know. In this part of the world, we don't even acknowledge all of that. Now, let me give you guys an example of some of the celebrities that we've had them also for surrogacy. In recent times, Ini Edo, and her story was that she
Experienced a couple of miscarriages.
and then
Yeah.
she wasn't married anymore anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she wanted a child so bad, so she opted for a surrogate, and then obviously she went through the processes. But then in 2016 or 2015 thereabouts, Kim also opted
Yes.
for
A surrogate mother. That's true.
because she had a condition,
Issues, yes.
but she still wanted to have more children. But at that point in 2016 or 2015, that I was asking myself, you already have two. What is this craze to have more since you can't have one yourself? My biggest problem with surrogacy, I'm not frowning on this, but I'm just saying that, listen guys, this child, you are forcing a DNA into this guy's life that they haven't asked for. So you're giving a child, you're bringing a child into this world, you yourself can't rightly give birth naturally. So you're wanting Vanessa to give you a child, but you're not giving that, it's like you're forcing a DNA on the child,
Yeah.
because the child is going to have her DNA too.
Not necessarily.
Oh, tell me
Regardless of your ovaries.
Because it's exactly, you are just carrying it, like it's just a new.
so it's like
It's in your system.
But I don't think the child
why do
really
you think
gets
they make the women eat right, drink right? Because, well, again, come back to me as an experienced mother.
because your body is what's carrying it.
So that body has blood that is supposed
Exactly.
to fuel and support this pregnancy. So whatever you do, this surrogate mother would have a part of her in that child's life. I don't care what level of investigation you do. Everybody is even different. Twins, you give birth to twins,
Yeah.
and they both are two different people. So you can check all the background checks you want to do. You can do all the investigations you want to do, but that person is an individual that is probably even now discovering themselves. Because some of the surrogate mothers that we found are young women. So from
Who are
19
doing it because of money anyway.
19 to 25 thereabouts at is the age bracket. These people are still trying to find themselves in life.
Yeah,
so
that's
they
true.
haven't fully discovered themselves.
Yeah.
You're giving them this responsibility.
So I just did a research,
go ahead.
and it says that
Before your research, another problem with the surrogate mothers is that sometimes it's not just the biological thing, having their DNAs in the child. Some of these surrogate mothers want to hold on to the child. They don't even want to hand them over to their
that's
mom.
why you get a lawyer.
Now,
You get-
let me tell you
the
something.
problem.
Hold on about the
That is a
DNA.
huge
I
problem.
just did a little research. And it
Right.
says one of the most common myth is that surrogate is somehow related to the baby she carries, or that the surrogate shares blood with the baby. The fact is that a surrogate does not share DNA with the baby she carries
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
So the technology used does not support that, does not allow that.
Okay.
No.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So that's what we're here for. We're trying to educate ourselves on this particular, because I know that in 21st century, some couples are looking at doing that. If I can't have a child after 2 years, maybe let's look for a surrogate or adopt a child or whatever. So these options are now available. Now let's look at the part where you said that the surrogate mother wants to hold on to the child. So some part of postpartum depression also gives you that option, or some part of giving birth. I don't want to name it postpartum depression, but that child, giving birth to a child and bringing a child into the world through you, sometimes you crave to have that thing with
experience.
the child. So you didn't have the plan from the beginning, but after you meet this cute little human being who, by the way, is kicking and giving you all this funny, exciting experience, you want to do it yourself. You want to have them, and then that's.
I think now that there are a lot of people that actually do it for a living.
But that's their job.
So they are prepped.
Especially in India.
So they're prepped. Even
Yeah.
here in Ghana, I know a lady that she says she's done close to 7
Oh.
so far. She's in Tema. And there's a lot of ladies out there that's what they do. Like they don't have any, they just carry it, and it's for the money.
Yes.
So they go and I mean, some are even in love with the idea that they get to live with is free rent, free food. You get to look after me, I push the baby out,
and then they pay you.
and then you pay me. You know, so but I think in rare cases, the ones that are not fully prepped for this particular role, they're the ones that usually end up saying. And I've seen or heard stories of people that even years after they want to come back into the child's life as I'm the mother of your child.
Yeah.
I've watched movies even, and I've seen that. Yeah. That's why I'm saying that with this particular procedure, now thankfully there are so many stages to this. You don't just get up and just anybody will just say surrogate. Even when you take it to the hospital, they want to make sure that you've gone through the right procedure or you are aware of what you're doing.
Yeah.
So with the first couple of, the first stages really, it's more or less like the legal stage. Okay. They try and have a contract together. They sit you down. They speak to the surrogate. They speak to the mother. Yeah, exactly. And then they form some sort of agreement whether you're going to live with the person or not. So definitely, if you're going to do this thing, I would say
go through the right procedure.
Go through the right procedure. Don't do it. Yes, don't do it on
So it's good to know that at least my biggest worry, which is having the DNA in you, is solved.
Yeah.
So that is not even an issue to worry about. However, you kept talking about something that I think is big for you. Like it's the big thing for you. They're having the experience.
Honestly, the
baby walking in your stomach. I don't remember when my baby
walking in your stomach. That sounds great. No,
I don't remember how mine was. But I think that the day he was going to come out, I was in labor for 3 days.
Wow.
And I remember that the second day, he didn't move at all the whole day. And then the nurses were scared that he had passed. Because they were like, no. The water has broken. You're 3 days into it. He's supposed to be doing something, like wanting to come out. Something's supposed to be happening. So they just kept putting things on me. And then when he finally moved, I knew that I didn't want a child at 17. But when I felt that the baby had moved, there was joy.
You're excited.
I'm like, God, why am I happy? No, I'm not supposed to be happy. Stop being happy. I remember doing that to myself. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm not supposed to be excited about it. But it also scared me, I think, when I heard that he could possibly be gone in my stomach.
So even though you weren't ready for it, when the thought of you losing
him was going to kill me.
So that is why I think that is why from the onset I said it is something you are yes, you are no. I'm just like in the middle because I really would love to have that. I think it's worth experiencing. You know, to know that you're bonding with
social media. You're
just bonding with a human.
I don't want none of that.
I don't need no child walking in my stomach.
I can't believe you just said that.
Like, I love kids. I love kids.
And she's the best auntie too. I'm actually surprised.
I'm actually excited you mentioned that because you were talking about how women are prepped, to the surrogate mothers, how they are prepped to be able to just have the baby without having emotional connections. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Until last year, I had a problem with kids coming around me. I just didn't want kids around me. I thought, they are too noisy, too stubborn. I don't want that. Until I saw a literal baby born in my house. Then everything just changed. So it is possible that maybe in rare cases would you see some of these surrogate mothers, bonding with a child. But it is also really, really possible. And that is my fear. I don't want any surrogate mother fighting me because of my own child. It's not comfortable.
That you make possible. Anyway, so you're still here on Toast. If you just joined us, you make the right choice. We are talking about surrogacy, yay or nay. And the ladies are giving me all the peace. In fact, I expected this depth of knowledge from them. So yes, I hope you're learning a thing or two. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, Toast is here on GH1 TV. We'll be right back.
Day men, strong and refined, the skincare you deserve. Dream.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water, one for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to Toast right here on GH1 Television. If you just joined us, guys, you made the right choice. And yes, if you've been with us, the conversation has been very, very, very educative and very entertaining. And I'm hearing from the ladies why they want to go into having another person have their child, which is very interesting. I want to make it look so bad.
Definitely with no regret.
Yeah. By the way, surrogacy is not a sin.
Yeah.
You can do that if you're in a situation where you're supposed to.
Yeah.
There's so many reasons why people go into this. One of the factors I want us to discuss. We're going to discuss a couple of it, but this one, let's start with this age. So maybe at 40 or 50. A classical example, Naomi Campbell just had her second child.
That's 50.
At 50 through a surrogate.
Okay.
Which means that her eggs were fertile to have a child, just that she could not
Carry a
properly
child.
carry a child. So another person, or even, by the way, people do it because they just don't want to go through the stress.
Yeah.
She's probably having some huge Gucci gig in a few months, and she doesn't want to be carrying a child. So surrogates probably, was a option that works. In a situation like age, where you're growing, you're probably not married.
Mimi, for the sake of our listeners out there that are probably even wondering what what surrogacy is,
Right.
let's explain it to the layman.
You want to take that?
No, you go ahead, since you're the host.
So surrogacy basically means that another person carrying a child that is formed by your sperms, your partner's sperm,
There's an
and
egg donor, a sperm donor.
a sperm donor and an egg
Combined.
donor
Okay.
combined.
Somebody's
And another person is like the incubator.
Yeah.
That kind of like holds that the egg and the sperms together until it becomes a fetus, becomes a
fetus,
person,
yes.
and then delivers naturally or through C-section or
C-section,
whatever. But another person gets to carry the baby for you. So that's basically the
What
layman's
surrogacy is.
explanation to surrogacy. So in this case of age, where maybe you're about 50, for women, after 50 you're like,
It's not
entering
possible.
into menopause and all of that, but you still want a child. A surrogate is an option I think that a lot of people will go through. But do you think that is a way to go, ladies? You want to touch on the age bit for me?
Well, I feel like for the age bit, it is
Yeah.
justified, especially if your biological clock is ticking, like you rightly mentioned.
Yes.
If you're nearing menopause and you're not married, but then of course you don't want to live this world without having a child behind or
Yes.
something. You might want to opt for surrogacy. I think it makes perfect sense. And in some cases, there are women that just don't want to get married anyway. They just want to have a child, so they just find a sperm donor. They donate their eggs, and then have the baby. It is justified. My problem is that if you can go through it, if you're not experiencing health issues like placenta accreta, please just have a baby. walk inside your stomach.
Some women, including myself, also want to opt for this option because like when women give birth, the body change. It's very hard for you to go back to your normal shape, and I always worry about that, like putting on weight or losing my
But do they
shape.
actually make the efforts to go back to their normal shapes?
Have they told you to do it? No, they do. No, the thing is, I feel like as women, the moment you put on excessive weight, it's very difficult for you
lose
to
it.
exactly. And for me, that's one of my big. And if you know me very well, if I eat three times a day consistently even if it's like the food is this small, trust me, I'll end up putting on weight. I'll end up putting on.
Well, let me clarify this. It's not true that weight is difficult to lose. It's just your consistency.
No. Trust me.
No.
It's dependent on the body type. Mimi, there are some people that can eat a lot and they'll still maintain the same
DJ
size.
Khaled hasn't lost
I'm
weight.
telling
He's been
you.
in the gym for how long?
No, DJ Khaled is not a consistent workout.
My friend. I'm sure he's also listening now. He's called Echo.
Does he sleep in the gym?
Sleep in the gym. He's still the same size.
You are so mean, huh?
Anyway, Vanessa, your thoughts on the
Yes, so I was saying that, do you think in this case where people like myself,
Yeah.
is it selfish that we want to do it because we don't want to lose our shape?
But
Yeah.
is that not
You're supposed to go through the process. That's the thing.
Is that not too,
Honestly,
like, just the way?
That is one of the sacrifices you make for your child as a woman.
Baby.
You go through the process.
Baby
you have
of the
your
year.
body changed. No, you have to be realistic. It cannot be soft life throughout. Experience it.
Not you soft life on me. Honestly, I think if you, like I said, if you have the capacity, you have the funds, you have the means, you have a good reason, be it body change, be it whatever, as long as it's your reason, if it fits well for you, definitely. As long as it's not a sin. If it's in the cry, some sins are
committable.
committable. But in this case, I think the world is changing. Things are changing. People are adapting to new things. It's not. That's why there are procedures to go through,
Right.
in order for you to get this thing done. It's not something that you can just wake up and in the morning and make it happen.
and carry my
But I'm actually. You know what she said about body changing? What do you make of that?
Oh, okay. Listen. So I said this when we started about the biological makeup of a woman and the things that a woman is naturally, by the design of God, supposed to go through. So a woman at some point in her life will have to start releasing blood from her body unprovoked.
Whether she likes
Or not is going to happen. A woman at some point will have to develop breasts that is sometimes even bigger than her chest. A woman at some point will have to go through certain things in her body and grow hair. It's your biological makeup. So just like pregnancy is the thing. So this is one of the procedures of pregnancy. So once a baby is in your body, your body has to expand to accommodate it. Your body has to make room for the baby to be able to grow, which is a natural thing. So for you, if that's the only reason, and it's not like it's a it's a very serious thing for you, because for you, in your mind, with what you have seen in your family, maybe women are not able to lose the weight that they gain. So for you, it's a big concern, which is valid, because what am I going to throw away all of that weight when I begin to? But if you are able to, like you rightly said, in this day and age where technology and things are evolving nicely, you will definitely find a plan for yourself that will make you lose all of that fat before. Because right now, everything can be altered in your pregnancy.
Yes.
The gender of the child can
You
even
could
be
even
altered.
pick to have twins if you choose to.
So your weight you gain through pregnancy can even be altered. So if you have the funds to be able to do that, then I think that having a child through your just to have the experience, like I'm telling you, the experience is always the thing for me.
Experience care.
The child will be jogging
No.
But I think that if you ask me from
Your
Ghanaian that
yes.
I am, growing up from a traditional home and whatnot, the bond with your child because they came through you is very important.
It's beautiful.
But if based on one or two reasons that are very important to you, you cannot do it the natural way, with the explanation you gave us today, with the child, because that's what I'm telling you, that was my biggest problem. The child having the DNA of another person.
Honestly.
If that is not going to happen,
Yeah.
I think it's safe.
Yeah.
But you need to be very sure, because even the people that we marry at home, we don't get to know them fully. Talk of someone you have to study for 6 months only.
To carry your
The
entire
risk,
child.
I think the risk in having a surrogate is huge. But if your situation is a
I don't think the risk is that huge as
You don't
people
think
make
so?
it. No, I don't think so.
Is it okay? Do you?
I think
Is it
the
either
only-
you
the
being
only-
real or you just?
This is me being very,
Okay, all right.
very factual. I think the only risk that I could potentially even think of could be the fact that, after women give birth, they become very emotional. And that's why I said that there are professionals out there that specifically do this. This is what they do.
Yeah.
They carry children, or they surrogate for mothers expectant. But I think in this case, number one, DNA isn't involved. They're not taking the surrogate's DNA. That's fine. Check. Number two, our other worry is the fact that we don't get to have the bond. But see, when you know it's coming from you, this is your seed. When you see the child, I can guarantee you would get the same feeling as though you carry the child. I mean, it's arguable. Each to their own. Number three, at the end of the day, like I said, there are procedures, there are stages, there are systems put in place to make sure that you go through the process successfully. So number one, if you're going into an agreement with somebody that isn't really your relative, even relative crampo, you still would have to go through that procedure. Get a lawyer, get a contract, sign something. There has to be a legal. Exactly. And this is not even a situation where the contract is verbal. Have something written down.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And at the end of the day, you're paying the person. If the person comes back and says, "I want the child back," there are legal steps you could take. That's the only thing that I can actually say it's way, because at the end of the day, people change. Someone can be like, no, even though they are legal, I still want the child, blah blah.
And then that
could be the only frustrating factor that I could think of. But everything else, I don't think the risk is as huge as people see it as.
Now let me make it even worse. Because I am trying to talk this girl out of this thing, but anyway, that's not the point. So instances where, for a child so when you deliver a child, the first thing they do is they cry and then they have to be fed.
Yes.
You, who is the biological mother, can't feed her because your body is not made up. So from the very first day,
that is a really good one.
So I would want you to do that research too. From the very first day, do they jump straight on the food supplements, or they take the breast milk from the surrogate mother? If that is the case, then sister,
again, like I said, there are systems, there are procedures.
Right.
Some opt for the option of going for the not being breastfed. Some too just opt for that option. I mean, it's what you want. So you get to.
So if the first experience your child has is the breast milk of another woman,
I mean, if I'm comfortable with it and I'm paying for it, and that's what I want to go for. But for me, I'll probably not opt for that. I'll probably go for the supplements. That's what I'm saying, that it's what each family, and again, you can't really say, so maybe the person has thought about it and they don't mind. They have that agreement that they know we're good. I don't mind my child. I just want my child.
No, it's not about you not minding.
Seriously, that's not mine.
No, I mind. And that's what I'm saying, that I will probably put my child on supplements.
Right. So what I'm saying is that supplements on the first day is a bit too heavy for a child.
Yeah.
So if you go for that option, mind you, then we go back to the DNA conversation, where the first experience the child has in the world
another
is
woman.
Blood, because this breast milk is blood. Another person's blood going through them. Do
you also know that there are mothers out there that actually give birth, and then once
their breast milk wasn't coming?
Their breast milk, and
that is
some
so true.
even.
That is
what
so
about
true.
the kids as well? That, excuse me, say God forbid, they lose their mothers and have to get other. I mean, when it comes to this whole
give your example. Give your example.
There are mothers out there that breastfeed other newborns as a living as well. Do you get it? So at the end of the day, like I said, it's what you're comfortable with.
Right.
If the person is comfortable based on certain needs, that I understand that even though my child doesn't have a DNA with this person, blah. That's why again it takes us back to the stages and the procedures. You've done your research, you've checked this person's blood, you've checked this person's blood. See, if we are to think deep on this blood thing, why are there blood donors?
That blood donor,
when you're sick, no, but that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, there are instances where
you're carrying someone else's blood.
No, instances or certain junctions that when you get to, you're like, you know what? As much as it's a bitter pill, let me just get this done and over. I just have to do it.
So I'll tell you an experience that one of our celebrities had.
Who do you want to mention?
Beverly Afaglu.
Okay.
When she had her child, obviously she's an actress, so she was on set and stuff, and she hired a nanny. Her nanny came into the house and obviously spent more time with the child. She said she walked into the room one day and the child was playing with the nanny and was like, no, I'm supposed to be doing this. So that is a healthy jealousy towards her child anyway. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this. So she kind of like had to put that part of her life on hold because she wanted that bond with her child. Because for her, oh, I've given birth, it's my child, just watch it for me when I'm going to work. But she realized that no, this child was creating a bond with this nanny. Now with the bond bit is where I'm going to, with the breast milk
before you get to the bond bit, let me just cut you a bit. You know how she made mention of how it is not a big deal. I think that we might be missing out on something, because there are countries out there that are actually planning to ban surrogacy. You know, so it's not as if it's not a big deal. Well, I don't know. Some of them
exactly. So we don't know. So we don't.
Some of them attribute it to the LGBT, you know, thing. Some of the countries are found on
that's even a different conversation. Do you get it? If we're to have that conversation,
that is
based
not
on the,
solely the reason.
But there are other not factors. Based on an actual paternal or maternal home. That it's not based on that. It's based on the country and whatever issue they're trying to. I don't want to get into the whole LGBT conversation, because that's not the platform that's not the conversation right now. But you know, it's based on that. But it's not based on the fact that they feel like it's harmful for the family. No,
because my bit right now is the fact that if we are not going to go back and we're not going to have a child, and after 7 years we are going to go back on whether we made the right choice, the way the child is developing, the things that the child is experiencing, then I think surrogacy is safe. With all the explanations that Mommy has given us, because by the way, because she is interested in doing something like that, she took time, which lady, I applaud you, baby.
Yeah,
you did great.
She's well researched on the topic.
Really looked into it. Because I have always thought about that. Nobody should put their breast in my child's mouth now. Nobody should have their blood in my child's mouth, because it is indeed a bonding time, whether you're ready or not. And I'll tell you guys,
so it's only through the breast that you can bond.
No, yes, when the baby is growing,
baby, listen, you know why they do the exclusive.
So the men and the women that are
exclusive.
The men and the women that are bonding through breast, you know.
Yeah, you know what you're doing when you're doing the breast business. But the exclusive 6-month thing that they do is really because the child needs to develop naturally, develop through the breast milk, which God designed for it to be there. You get a very solid example that what if the mother gives birth and can't breastfeed the child because maybe they're going through,
which is very possible,
depression, they're not eating well, so the breast milk is not even coming. Who gets to breastfeed the child? And that was a solid point. But in my opinion, there are other ways to have this child experience life without having another person's breast in their mouth.
If you have a problem with it, like I said,
you don't.
You have is it supplements, or I don't even know the name of it, but that
from what I know,
baby formula.
The baby formulas are a bit too heavy for a child on the very first day. So anyway, that's just besides the point. We're moving to the things that lead people. We've talked about the age bit.
Yes.
So what are some of the factors that come to play in putting people in that position of wanting to have a surrogate instead of having children naturally?
Look, there are clearly health crises that would want somebody to opt for a surrogate mom.
Right.
I made mention of Kim Kardashian. She was going through, I think, placenta accreta. I don't know whether it's with the 3rd or the 4th child, but she just wasn't in a position to carry a child, and so she had to opt for that. And fortunately, it was successful. The child looks exactly like him. Exactly. So it's just one of the reasons. I'm not
so that's
sure.
Success for you, mommy.
That's honestly no, but you know what? That's what I'm saying. That DNA, it's literally the sperm donor's DNA.
We've established that.
There's never ever a time where the child gets to look like the surrogate. It doesn't happen.
But I'm also interested
that's when they have to research.
It doesn't happen.
One has to
It doesn't happen. Sis, you're talking to me.
The
well-researched surrogate.
Well, I'm also interested in the cultural factors. I don't know if anybody knows anything about the cultural, consequences of having a surrogate mother.
I think that generally here in Ghana, it's totally frowned on. Families don't want to hear it. It makes you look
that is so true.
Incapable of being a wife even. Parents don't want to hear any of that. Like, why is another person going to carry, especially for situations like mom is like, I don't want to grow fast, so I want another person to have my child. That would be too plenty for another parent to hear, that their son's wife is saying this or their daughter is saying this.
However, so right in that.
I think that we are evolving. people are beginning to accept certain things, and I think that these things are also very private.
Yeah.
If you're having a surrogate mother, why broadcast it to the world? Really, in my opinion. I feel like these are private life situations. It saves you the stress of wanting to explain to everybody why you went for a surrogate.
Honestly.
So you just keep these things very private.
Look, what you're saying is really true. I had a conversation with a gentleman. You know what? Would you like to be my sperm donor? Because I'm thinking of having surrogates.
Oh,
I'm thinking of having a surrogate mom to carry my child, because I don't think that this career will make me take a pause and then have a child. I was like, I can't believe you are saying that to me. Are you serious in this life at all? In this culture, in this Ghana? It's like, okay, that's just the reason that in this culture, in this Ghana, so you cannot have a surrogate mom. So I think that is also a factor.
Anything else? We haven't talked about the spiritual aspect.
Are there any?
There could be. There could be. We are from Ghana, guys.
Well, researched woman, help us out.
Madam research.
That was the surrogates would be a winch and then the child would be a winch. I don't understand.
Well, there could. Or there's some spirit that is touching the life of the surrogates and they will come after your child. How about that? Have you considered that?
Sis, as long as the DNA was
But some of the witches that are bothering you, they are not from your family.
No. The witches, they are operating per DNA.
Hey.
Yes, and I don't think spiritually it's
anything serious.
Yeah.
And even if you want to do something like that, I think that if you are spiritually firm yourself, it will help you. Because if you're able to pray about these things,
yes,
you'll be able to choose the right person to carry your child and what have you. Ladies, any more on on surrogacy? So have we settled on whether or not we're going to? Mami, we know is going to definitely have a surrogate mother at some point. Whether her first child or second one, we're definitely going to say surrogate. Okay, ma'am. So yay for Mami. Put your hands together for the queen.
And nay for Vanessa.
No,
I even sent you a text saying take a break.
I mean, you have given these people what do you call it, warning that I shouldn't touch my phone again. You are still telling me to touch my phone. Anyway, so I'm going for a quick break. I'm praying for a quick break. Okay, all right. So we've established that Mami is definitely going to have a surrogate mother, so we're looking forward to that. If you just joined us, this has been Toast, or this is Toast on GH1 Television. We're going for a quick break. When we return, Toast continues right here. We'll be right back.
When you're little, days are extremely busy. Work, traffic jams, meetings, conference calls. Luckily, our mom is here to take good care of us with Day by Day Baby and Day by Day Kids and their naturally active ingredients. Our skin is hydrated, soothed, and protected all day long. Yes, hello?
Miss Akwaba, Ghana ni baba ahofofo awofra kete woni amamre esanso ni abakwasem yamamu nyina akwabo.
This is what you're missing if you're not following the Miss Akwaba Season 2 reality show journey. This 13-week culture and tourism TV reality show is becoming hotter and highly competitive every week. Who wins the ultimate prize of a car, 10,000 Ghana cedis cash, and on top of it all, the enviable crown as Miss Akwaba 23. Watch the live broadcast of Miss Akwaba Season 2 every Sunday at 8 p.m. on GH1 TV and CJTV channel. To vote for your favorite contestant, please dial *365*300# and enter the name of the contestant. You can also log on to cjtv.com.gh and vote. Miss Akwaba Season 2 is brought to you by the kind courtesy of CJ Multimedia and GH1 TV. And it's supported by Dodi World, Ghana's unique aquatourism destination, Jingo Herbal Drink, Akosombo Textiles Limited, and Jones Place Event Center and Guest House located at West Hill City, New Botiano, Accra. It's also supported by
Miss Akwaba.
Okay, you know I'm the President of the Republic of Ghana, right?
Yes.
I am the President of the Republic of Ghana, duly elected and sworn in Tonight, I declare my nephew, Black Boy, the Minister of Foreign Affairs!
No, wait!
Hey, would you clap for me?
For you.
Good.
Yes.
I have to go and rest for our trip tomorrow.
That one. Make sure you keep in touch every day.
I will, baby.
I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too.
You good?
I'm alright, man.
I want to ask you a question.
Shoot.
You see, I have ambitions. I want to be the president of the Republic of this country. How do I become the president?
For real?
Yeah.
You're talking to the wrong person, man. I'm a Podia president in Kenya, man.
What is that for? I'm excited. I'm going to walk and run on the beach for the first time in my life.
Hey, Amma, when did you come to Accra?
Dogs are wise. They crawl away into a quiet corner, lick their wounds, and do not rejoin the world until after a while.
Excuse me. I want to ask you some few questions.
I need to see someone now. Can we do this when I come back?
Okay, I wait.
Tonton. That woman a fine woman. This is a good opportunity for you to marry.
Madam, what do you mean?
That woman a fine woman.
Hey.
Are you taking with me?
Yes, madam.
No.
What is the scope and who's involved?
I know how much this case means to you, detective. And I have a scoop on air now. But you first have to make love to me before I tell you.
Marcus, when do I get what I want? I am running out of time.
We are running out of time.
Give me 1 week. I'm working on something.
Aquaba.
I dig it. Juliet is a sports journalist.
Join us this and every Saturday as we scan you through the various African countries, dishing out delicious meals.
Today we're doing something from Zimbabwe. I'm cooking sadza today.
Lindole from Cameroon. It's Ghana versus Cameroon.
I asked, which meals are you best at in preparing from another African country? Not sure? Then catch us here on our Bing Show as we learn something new from our brothers and sisters far and near. You will definitely be the best judge at the end of it all. Our Bing Show, bonding Africans through cooking. See ya. Last season season was simply amazing. Don't miss the all-new Season 3 of the Natalie Ford Show as we take it a notch higher, bringing you compelling life stories of exemplary personalities like you've never seen before. Get prepared for heart-to-heart, candid conversations without barriers, giving you a window into the world of big names with unforgettable stories this season of the Natalie Ford Show on GH1 TV. The Natalie Ford Show, conversations that matter.
The thing between your thighs is too tiny.
Baby, relax.
Don't come close.
Abnormally little or normal little? Everything she said are lies.
Hey, are you trying to say that your manhood is not as tiny as an earthworm? Are you trying to say that this my small finger is not bigger than your fully erected manhood?
Could it be that you are broad, so you require something of an equal proportion to...
Excuse me? You didn't just say that, did you?
I'm sorry, I said it. Help me understand. How little? It's little.
Okay, and because of that, this marriage is over.
Welcome back to Toast, and my ladies and I always say that, listen, what goes on behind the scenes when we're going on break, you have no idea. It's more fun. Welcome back to Toast right here. We are at Launcher Ghana, the best interior decoration company in Ghana and beyond. If you want that home to be a beautiful heaven, in fact, I'm recommending Launcher Ghana. You can call them on 050-658-5101. Also, you can check them out on Instagram and Facebook. It's at Launcher GH. And thank me later, because we just bring you good stuff. We're talking about surrogacy, yay or nay, and the ladies have been giving me tea that is relevant for life, because right now I'm considering Mommy's position.
Hey, I think you should.
Mommy, no, please allow me to consider what I won't consider.
Okay.
So we were touching on the cultural bit of this thing. What how people feel about another person carrying your child and all the stigma it comes with. So once I did say something before we went on the break that I think it's a private thing. You should keep it to yourself. However, if it does come out, we've seen how people react to it, especially in Ghana. We have had a few celebrities who have gone through it and the conversations that go about it. Do you feel like it is unfair, or culture-wise we're just the conversation is being had in the right direction?
I think the stigma is only in Africa.
Oh, good.
It's only in Africa. It's only in Africa because in Africa we are accustomed to hard life. They want us to go through the normal, like they don't want change. Yes, like if he didn't carry it, it's not yours. If he didn't bear the 9 months, it's not yours, and therefore it's not your child. And you can actually be referred to for as long as the child exists that you're not the mother of.
Yeah, Barry.
So I think it's something that if you're thinking about doing it, it's definitely necessary for you to observe your environment and to know where you're coming from, especially based on where we are right now. If you can, take a break. You don't need to let people know that, And I think gone are the days, a lot of people actually used to do this, but they just weren't loud about it.
Exactly.
Like they keep it quiet. They go through it and then they just come and announce that, Naomi Campbell gave birth. No one out there, the news out there, if you read the headlines, it doesn't even say Naomi Campbell
gave birth to surrogacy.
You have to read the news to
the entire story before you.
But the headlines are
welcome to second baby.
Exactly. But if it was GH.com, these bloggers here in Ghana, the first thing would be, she had a baby by surrogate.
Somebody gives birth for Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's the culture thing is a bit Tight. And
for us, it would be very difficult for us to get rid of this stigma. I mean, as long as it's happening in Africa, it would forever remain the same. Like, it's not going to be something that, if I'm to tell you that I see it's becoming a norm in the next 5-10 years, I'll be lying. I'll be lying.
You won't accept it?
No. And I think it will only be accepted in, I don't know, you have to be of a certain class, or you have to be someone who you're well learned. You've really taken time to do your research, because it's very easy for people to sit there and be like, look at it. And this particular topic we're treating, how much do you want to bet that someone on Facebook right now is probably insulting us? Which is normal. Like I said, as long as we live in Africa, we're operating in Africa, this thing is definitely going to, maybe in the next 20-30 years, but for now,
we're going to see a change. I think that another reason why it's unfair for people who opt for surrogacy to be insulted in the African context is because the knowledge is not widespread. How many people even understand on the street what surrogacy really means? And like Mami said, you're going to be tagged as, oh, you can't even have a child. Mind you, even adoption, sometimes people use that to insult you. Once you adopt a child, people think, she wasn't able to carry a child. It's so alien for most of the African,
like for Africans or for Ghanaians, it has to come out from you for it to be your child. Exactly. It didn't come from you.
So the knowledge is just not out there enough. Mami is well researched because she has sort of opted for that.
Absolutely.
I have like some sort of information because I thought the subject was really interesting. I think it's the same for you.
It is for me. I just
so it's just like in the African context. Let me take Iniedu for example. When she came out that she had a child, a baby girl, through surrogacy, I don't know if you went through the comments. They were just literally tearing her apart because why do you go for a surrogacy? You're an African. You're supposed to go through,
even associated it to her BBL and all of that.
It was just unfair. But then again, it just points out to the fact that people are just not well informed about the pros and cons, whether surrogacy has got legal infractions or not, whether it's got biological effects, or people just don't know. So far as the child is not from your body, you have committed an African
Which, by the way, it's not the truth because it's your egg and another person, your partner's sperm, that makes it. So technically, it's from your body. Anyway, so you wanted to know whether I'm going to go through it or not.
Yes.
Okay, Launcher Ghana is giving us a beautiful home, and so if you want to make that home a beautiful haven, do come to Launcher Ghana. I would definitely want to have my child the natural way, but if life happens and I'd have to go through a surrogate, I don't think that with the information that I have right now, I'd have a problem doing that. Okay, I don't think I would, but God just permitted me to have my own child.
I'm just pretty much still on the fence.
Be saying no.
Yeah. I am just on the fence. I don't know whether I'm going to opt for that.
So I pray that everybody that I know and care about, especially you watching us, goes through the natural way. But if you go through surrogacy, it's not a crime. Don't feel bad about it. It is okay. It is accepted because your body is probably repelling pregnancy and there's not much you can do about it. You also want to have that experience of a mother. If the surrogacy looks too crazy, go and adopt another person's child. It's still being a parent. And hey, it's fine. Launcher Ghana, thank you so much for having us. Ladies, again, it's been fun spending time with you. I would like Mami Enimwa Beko the first, who happens to be the woman on the fence of having a surrogate.
She is an A. I'm on the fence.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, like I said, based on your beliefs, your capacity, your interest, but most importantly, I would advise you to go through the right procedures and the right systems to make sure that you have everything in place and everything is done successfully. Get a lawyer, go to a good hospital, do your research. And I think it's something that you shouldn't even just wake up and just maybe give yourself like a year and do it. I don't think it's something that should be frowned on. It's not illegal. It's not. I don't think the Bible speaks against it or
it's not illegal in certain countries because we're learning today that
but the law hasn't been passed just yet.
It's still in Parliament.
So it's not illegal. You can, like I said, just do your research. I would definitely do it.
We can't wait for that.
We can't wait to see your surrogate.
You're
babe.
supposed to say congratulations.
Congratulations in advance, my baby. All right, say a big thank you to Launcher Ghana for having us today too. And we want to tell you about them. They're the best interior decoration company in Ghana and beyond. You can find them on social media. It's at Launcher GH. Also, you can call them today at 050-658-5101 and thank us later. Again, on this channel is entertainment, education, and information. This one that I'm about to tell you about is a lot of education, a lot of information, and that is Anupama. Anupama is here to teach us, to educate us, and of course to entertain us. So join us every day from Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. right here on GH1 television. Some education is going on there. Anupama is an Indian series, and listen, people are just learning a lot about how to be a contemporary woman the right way. Till we meet again, have a good night. See you next week.